Hey everybody, Jace Allen here. Welcome back to the Guitar Dungeon. And on today's episode, I'm helping a viewer with a problem with the CNC file. So stick around. Okay, if you've watched some of my tutorials on creating guitar parts, body parts, with CNC machine using a program called Aspire, you may be aware of the fact that I did a Stratocaster neck model. I have a viewer that is building a reproduction of the Brian May Red Special guitar, which is, you know, kind of a unique, completely unique guitar that Brian May and his father built because they couldn't afford a Stratocaster or a Gibson. And they probably ended up with a far superior guitar had they just went out and bought one. Plus the memories and the bonding that they probably had while they were making it. And so this guitar has a unique neck. It's not really a set neck, I don't think. It looks like a sort of a bolt-on neck. There's some pictures out there of it being restored back in, I think it was 97 or something like that. And the neck has they put a truss rod in it that they, I guess, never had to adjust or whatever, and then it sits down into the body. And so, but to me it looks like it's bolted on. But then the top of it is has this what we call a volute. It's just a little piece of thicker wood where it doesn't look to me like this particular guitar has a scarf joint in it. It's hard to tell. Some of the photos of the neck, the headstock actually looks flat like a Stratocaster or a Telecaster neck, and then some of the videos or the pictures that I've seen, it looks like it's got a slight angle to it. So it's hard to say if it was a scarf joint and they used that volute as a way to strengthen that joint, or what. A lot of times nowadays anyway, the volute is more decorative. There's no scarf joint, it's just decorative, and it just adds a little more material, a little more wood to the neck area, because especially on Gibsons, if you're very aware of the Gibson neck, they're very delicate. You drop your Gibson electric guitar and a lot of times that neck will just snap at the headstock joint. And so this, let me pull it up here. So then, as you can see on this picture here, this is what I'm talking about. This is called a volute. And you'll see them a lot of times in older pre-war Martin guitars. There's almost like a diamond-shaped volute. Well, that was actually like they call a bird mouth joint or whatever. It was part of the headstock joint. Now they just add them as a decorative when they're doing the guitars in that style. So this is just a little bulb here, kinda. This is a reproduction of his guitar. This is the actual guitar when the gentleman was refurbishing it. And you can see here, this is sort of the neck that goes into the body. And it's got a little heel here, and then you can see the slightest little bulge here. And it's really hard to tell if that neck is angled or not. So what we have is, this is the viewer's neck. So he's got the neck, he's got the snake head stock or whatever, and then he's got the volute here, but he's got, see the groove right there? Well, we don't want that. We don't want that groove. We want this to follow all the way through so it's nice and smooth. So that is what we are going to try to accomplish. So I've opened up Aspire, and basically I have a model of the neck with the headstock, and from the other side it'll be the outline of the neck. So there's sort of with that snake head headstock. And okay, so we're going to create this little volute here, and what I've done is I've taken a shape that I want, and I've started as, from the far edge, either edge of the neck width, So it starts the full width of the neck and then tapers up into the headstock. And so you need to take that shape, and you want it closed. You want a closed shape with a flat end on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to split this in two. So you can bring guideline down from the top. You just click and drag. And then you come over here to Edit Objects, Node Editing Mode. And there's a node on each end right in the middle. If there isn't one there, you can right-click and add a node. We're going to right-click and we're going to cut vector. There and there. Okay, so what we've done is basically cut the object in half. See, there's two halves. Get rid of that guideline. Okay, and so now we're going to want to take that piece and reposition it where we want it. And you want it to overlap the neck, where the neck curve, you know, the radius of the neck stops. So you have a little bit of overlap there. And then you want a curve, a half circle, and that's going to be what creates the curvature. Okay. And so then that'll make sense here in a minute. So then we hold shift and we click both of those halves. We go to modeling, and we go to modeling tools, create a shape by sweeping between two vector rails. And then you use selection. And then you want your arrows to both be going in the same direction, because then it'll sweep from end to end. And then you want to select your half circle and then plop it anywhere on, see how the cursor changes to a check mark? So just click there and you can see it swept through. And then you want to make sure scale cross sections with width is selected. And then you want combine with other components, and you want merge highest points with previous components selected. Hit apply, hit close, go back to your 3D view, and there's your volute. And it's a little higher because you got to change the height. For some reason Aspire messes with the height of things. I don't know. I don't completely understand how it works, but so we want to mess with that until we get it right about where we want it, which that looks probably pretty good. That looks pretty good. Yeah, there's a little hump there. We want a nice. There we go. That's blended. That's blended pretty good. Okay, so close that, and then what I'll do is toolpath everything on level 1 together. So we'll come over here to 3D rough toolpath, and we want selected level, select level 1. That should be selected. Machine boundary offset, I have an 1/8 of an inch. Calculate. Okay, calculated fine. Come back over here to toolpaths, go to 3D finish. That's an 1/8 inch ball nose. You can use a 1/4 inch ball nose. Anyway, it should be a ball nose. And then level should be level 1 again. Boundary offset should be 1/8 of an inch, and calculate. And then if you do, I'll do reset preview and preview all sides. It'll do a quick sort of rendering, I guess. And we got a little bit of a line there. So the height might be a little short now. You want to make sure you blend that line, get the height of that volute so it's just right, so that you don't see a line there at all, because you don't really want to do any sanding. Okay, if we double click these to get rid of them, then you can see that's pretty good. And then we do have these little tabs here. You can either stand those off, or you can create a, you know, when you sweep or whatever, you can create another sweep that smooths that out. You get into a lot of work that way. I like to have my parts coming off the CNC machine as close to perfect as possible. So I would probably work on getting that smoothed out. But anyway, there you go. That's it. There's no goofy gap there. Yeah, so I hope that helps out, and we'll see you next time here on the dungeon.